Around the world today, caregiving is no longer a personal issue. It is a global transformation, and most people, they don't even realize that it is happening. In the United States, over 53 million adults are caregivers. That's 1 in 5 adults who are supporting an aging parent, a spouse, a loved one, or a child with special or complex needs. Globally, over 2.3 billion people require care, and the majority are supported not by formal systems, but by family members and neighbors and friends. In many households, caregiving is the silent second shift. It's done after work, before school, during lunch breaks. It's often unpaid and almost always unrecognized. This is what I call the age of caregiving. And yet we've built our systems, our workplaces, and our healthcare structures as if caregiving is something rare, when it is instead becoming universal. The numbers are staggering and rising. By 2030, 1 in 6 people globally will be over the age of 60. By 2050, more than 152 million people will be living with dementia worldwide. In nearly every country, more than 75% of long-term care, it's not provided in facilities, it's provided by family members. That means a daughter in Kenya, a son in Canada, a niece in Singapore, a neighbor in Brazil may all be quietly navigating complicated care without support. And often it's women who take on this role. But caregiving, it comes from every generation in every background. Many are also raising children. They're working full-time or they're managing their own health conditions at the same time. Let me tell you a story that I've heard versions of from all over the world. A woman in her early 40s, let's call her Maya. She works in a bank by day, but her day doesn't start with spreadsheets. It starts at 5 a.m., helping her father with Parkinson's brush his teeth and change his clothes and take his medications. She then makes breakfast. She answers emails on her phone while waiting for his home nurse, who sometimes doesn't show up. Then she races to work, pretending like everything is fine. But at lunch, she's taking calls from specialists. And after work, she picks up her kids, she cooks dinner, and she finishes her day by coordinating her father's next appointments. Maya is a high performer. She's a loving daughter. She's a mother, but she is exhausted. And she's not alone, because there are millions of Mayas in every country, in every industry, burning out behind the scenes. When we ignore caregivers like Maya, we all pay the price. In the United States, caregivers are estimated to lose $522 billion a year in wages, retirement savings, and lifetime income because of reduced work hours or leaving the workforce altogether. Employers face increased absenteeism, lower productivity, and high turnover. For caregivers, the emotional cost is much harder to measure, and they're more likely to experience chronic stress and anxiety and depression. Many postpone their own medical care. Many end up isolating. They stop dreaming. And yet, they keep going because caregiving isn't just a task. It is a commitment to someone you love. What if we stopped treating caregiving like a burden and started recognizing it as a form of leadership? Think about it. Caregivers manage medications, they navigate health systems, they advocate appointments, they coordinate care, they provide emotional support. That's not a side role. That is strategic decision-making under pressure. And caregivers, they are not weak. They're not just helpers. They are leaders of households, of health plans, and hope. But leadership requires support. And that's where the CARE framework comes in. I developed the CARE framework as a roadmap to better support caregivers at work, in healthcare systems, and in community life. The C in CARE stands for culture. We must shift the culture. We have to stop treating caregivers or caregiving as private or inconvenient and start treating it as normal. It is common. It is valuable. Talk about it in your workplaces, in your meetings, at your check-ins, and in your policies. A is for awareness. Know that caregivers, they're already in your circle, in your team, in your pew, in your clinic, and start asking, how can we help you balance care and your other responsibilities? R is for resources. Don't wait for a crisis. Provide flexible options, flexible work options, paid leave, respite support, caregiving education, care navigation tools, mental health resources. And E stands for empowerment. Include caregivers in the conversation, in policy design, in patient care plans, in leadership development as well. Stop seeing caregivers as afterthoughts, but instead as essential voices of leadership. When we use this framework, when we care, everyone can benefit. In workplaces, it can reduce burnout, improve retention. It can strengthen families and communities and systems alike. So now let's imagine Maya's life again, but with just a few small, meaningful changes. Her employer knows she's a caregiver, and they offer her flexible start times. Her team lead checks in, not just about deadlines, but also about how things are going at home. At her dad's clinic, the care team includes her in decisions, gives her a printed summary, and connects her with a local respite program. She's not doing it all alone anymore. The caregiving is still hard, but now she has a plan, a rhythm, a voice, and maybe just enough energy left at the end of the day for her to dream again. Whether you realize it or not, caregivers are already in your life. They're your employees, your students, your neighbors, your friends. And one day, you might be a caregiver yourself. The age of caregiving isn't just coming, it's already here. The question is it going to affect us? The question is when? And will we rise to meet it? Let's build a future that supports care, that values caregivers, that strengthens workplaces, health systems, and homes. Because how we care today will shape the world we live in tomorrow.